What's up everyone? Welcome to Yoga with Adriene. I'm Adriene, and today on the Foundations of Yoga series we have Dolphin Pose, or Ardha Pincha Mayurasana. This is an inversion. Yay, you requested it. But it's an inversion in which we can work in stages to grow it mindfully and in a way that feels really good and supportive. If you have had shoulder injury, you want to be really mindful of practicing this posture, or maybe just skip it all together. All right, so hop into something comfy and let's learn Dolphin Pose. All right, my friends, let's begin today on all fours. Take your time getting down here. And then when you arrive, let's just take a second to really be mindful. Since this is the foundations of yoga, we're taking the time to really pay attention to our alignment and to the foundation. So you'll take your wrists right underneath the shoulders, and you'll take your knees right underneath the hip points. And whether this is new for you or this is, you're an experienced yogi, you've been on the path for a while, just kind of come into this as a beginner's mind. I find that really helpful when we're wanting to go deeper or learn new poses, focusing on everything from the ground up, right? From the foundation. So take a second to really root through your index finger and thumb, spread the fingertips wide, again, wrists underneath the shoulders, and knees right underneath the hip points. So I say hip points instead of hips to really kind of get you to bring it right underneath where the hip socket is, where those bones come together. And then for some, you're gonna start to go, wow, my arm's already tired. Because you're starting to work in a way that's really connected to the earth, hand to earth. We call that Hasta Bandha, that hand lock. So you press away from your yoga mat. You kind of claw into your fingertips here. And then you draw the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. You can actually imagine turning the right palm to the right as if you were opening a jar, and the left palm to the left as if you were opening a jar. So lots of action, lots of awareness. Then begin to notice if your neck is dropping down. Obviously, you're going to be looking at the video a little bit, but hopefully not a lot, because I'm amazing. I'm going to guide you with my voice. No. But that's the idea, is to really give you some time to just listen to the sound of my voice, check in when you need to, but give you some time to explore this in your body. So start to check in with the neck and just have this awareness of the spine from the crown to the tail. So if you were really lengthening from the crown to the tail here, the chin wouldn't be collapsed or protruding, but rather tucking slightly, gaze down. Then this is important here for dolphin. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Imagine again opening those pickle jars, and just find a little awareness through the upper back body. So if you're collapsed in the shoulders here, this is a good moment to peek at the video. If you're collapsed here, you're gonna wanna lift up between this space, lift up between the two shoulder blades, creating space here, broadening. And then again, those pickle jars, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, really firming the shoulder blades down the back body. That's a hard cue to take, so just play here, basically bringing some super awesome awareness into the upper back body. Cool, then we travel down the spine. Just notice if you're collapsed in the lower back. See if you can find length in the lower back, the spine, by lengthening the tail towards the back edge of your mat. Navel draws up. So now I have all this awareness in the hands. If arms get tired, you can come to the fists for a little bit. Takes practice. We have all this awareness from the crown to the tail. We're not collapsing in the upper back body, and we're not collapsing in the lower back body. In fact, we call this connecting to that center channel, that plumb line. I often refer to it as the danda, the line of the spine, the stick or the staff. You might also hear it referred to as the midline, the center plumb line. So we're just finding a little bit of containment in the front body, length through the spine, awareness in the back body. Cool, then go ahead and curl the toes and walk back and just take a little break. Maybe rotate the wrists a little bit, maybe give yourself a little forearm massage. I don't know where, but I read once that, massaging the forearm is like a good foreplay massage, like a weird like aphrodisiac stimulus. Bonus reason to share this dolphin video now. I don't even know if that's true, so don't believe everything you hear on the internet, but so if I'm ever getting this part of my arm massaged by anyone, I'm always like trying to not be weird, but just notice like, how does this make me feel? Usually it's me rubbing my own arm in yoga. Okay, let's come back to the pose, back to the focus. Preparing for dolphin. So I'm gonna come back to my tabletop position. You join me whenever you're ready. And once again, going through your checklist, knees underneath hip points, wrists underneath the shoulders, draw the shoulders away from the ears, awareness in the back body, a bit of containment, drawing energy up through the front body, navel up, heart lifting up between the shoulder blades, lengthen the spine, and then try to maintain that length, that awareness at least. Tops of the feet pressing into the earth, so often they're gonna come in, we're just not spreading the awareness all the way to the toes, so keep that awareness spreading through the toes. And I'm just gonna drop one elbow right exactly where that hand was, so it's right underneath the shoulder, and then the other right underneath the shoulder. Right away, I'd like you to pay attention to what happened to the wrists. See if you can keep the forearms that I just so eloquently referred to in that massage moment. See if you can keep them parallel, like two railroad tracks. And then for now, just see if you can go through that same checklist here. Length through the crown, length through the tail, so you probably will draw the navel up a little bit. And then just notice if you're collapsing in the shoulders, find that broadness of the upper back. Okay, it's really important as you're learning a posture to focus on the sensation rather than the shape. I can't tell you how many times I personally, especially when I was younger, would just kind of bypass that exploration time. And then I was never actually able to embody a shape fully, joyfully, safely in my body. So yeah, just focus on sensation here as you grow your posture, as you learn or relearn your body. Cool, one more breath here. You should feel this in the shoulders, tops of the shoulders, drawing away from the ears, pressing away from the yoga mat. Again, root that index finger and thumb. And then we'll take a break. Puppy posture, great opening for the shoulders. You're just gonna walk your knees back. I'm actually gonna walk up just to stay on my mat, but walk your knees back and try to keep on those railroad tracks best you can, and try to keep the index finger and thumb rooted. Now, if you have super tight shoulders, which a lot of people do, you might not be able to bring the forehead to the mat here, in which case you can use a blocky to Benji hair to bring the forehead to the block, or you can use a little pillow or rolled up towel. And then this is a really, really, really nice way to prep dolphin, puppy posture, to open tight shoulders, open through the chest, and to really work on the integrity of your foundation. So a lot of times as you start to come into this shape, the fingers will come in, the wrists want to come in, because that's how we feel better in this shape. But if we're wanting to get into the right areas of the body, we're going to work slowly and mindfully, keeping the hands where they are, two parallel lines. So this could be, if you're feeling it here, and you'll know, your shoulders will be speaking to you, telling you sweet nothings, whispering sweet nothings. You might just stay here and not actually even work in dolphin today. Just breathing deep and then working on your foundation slowly from here, drawing navel up, lengthening through the crown, sending your gaze towards your knees. This might be your dolphin. So we have this puppy posture, also called Anahata Asana, heart to earth pose. Or you can begin to work your dolphin there, just nice and slow. So again, you're releasing heart to earth, or you're starting to work your dolphin here, because you'll feel too tight in the shoulders to go any further. If you're ready to go a little bit further, maybe you're returning to this video where you're like, I want to give it a try. Then we're going to slowly lift the heart forward between the elbows. If you need to take a break too for a second, you'll just curl the toes, come back, lift your heart over your pelvis. But if you're ready to go into this inversion, deeper inversion, we will move from puppy posture all the way back to where the heart is between the elbows here. And I'm just using literally my eyeballs to check out my foundation here, rooting down through that index finger, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, and again, shoulder blades down the back body. Then curl the toes under if they are not already. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And keep an awareness on your breath as you inhale in again. And this time on an exhale, lifting one knee then the other. Take a second to pedal it out just a little bit here and keep a nice strong foundation in the arms. Now, nice and slow, I'm going to come to stillness, but I highly recommend you keep your knees bent here, especially if you're new to the practice, and eventually we'll come all the way to this shape, guys. But even my hamstrings are a little tight here today, so nice and soft. Bending the knees, we'll come into a place of stillness and allow the breath to fill this body here, this shape. Gaze is towards the toes or the knees. Eventually we can take the gaze straight down, especially if we're working up to Pincha Mayurasana. Right? Kicking up. Breathing deep. Take one more breath here. And then slowly lower the knees and come all the way to seated. Flip the palms. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely. So for me, in the foundations of yoga, it's really important that I'm not just showing you the posture, because you can see that anywhere on the internet. This is an opportunity for us to workshop, to explore these shapes and the sensations of these shapes in our body at home, safely and mindfully. So you need to be really mindful. Definitely if you have something going on in the shoulders, but everyone really mindful as a way of exploring your practice and growing. So we're going to take locust arms here, interlace the fingertips behind, knuckles draw down and away, just a little counter pose, and then we'll check out dolphin one more time. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more big inhale, and exhale to release. All right, from all fours, we'll dive back in. Dropping the elbows where the hands are. And right away, finding your foundation, not collapsing, but pressing away from your yoga mat. Root down through the index fingers. So in this second round, we're going to offer a couple variations. But for now, wrists in line with the elbows, elbows right underneath the shoulders, and when you're ready, we'll walk it back. Puppy posture first. You might just stay here, working on dolphin by drawing the navel up, finding that containment through the midline. Or if you're ready, we'll curl the toes under, inhale in, and exhale, lifting hips up high. Now this time, whether the knees are bent or straight, ankles, heels reaching down towards the earth. Heels do not have to touch. Mine are not touching today. I'm not warm up. Eventually, if I'm in the middle of class, I can get to a dolphin where my heels are on the ground, but I'm not going to rush that today. Again, focusing sensation over shape. Couple of action points to grow your practice. Draw energy up from the ankles, the inner ankles, the arches of the feet, all the way up through the inner thighs into the groin, lifting hips up high, high, high towards the sky. Almost as if you're lifting your butt cheeks up towards the ceiling. Keep breathing. Tops of the shoulders externally rotate away from the ears. Breathing deep here. Navel draws in and up, Uddiyana Bandha. That'll hug the lower ribs in just a little bit and allow you to create that broadness in the upper back body. Couple of variations here. You can bring the palms together, fists together, or we can work to bring our gaze forward by carving a line with the nose, keeping that broadness as you press away. Eventually we'll kick up into Pincha Mayurasana, an inversion, but this is your inversion too, strong and steady. We'll take 2 more breaths here, breathe deep. And slowly release, knees to the ground, rolling up nice and slow. One, to be safe and mindful, but two, to find what feels good. Feel the effects of this pose as you lift head over heart, heart over pelvis. Flip the palms up and close your eyes and observe. Observe your breath. Observe that sensation. For me, it's like a fresh wash of blood in the arms and the head, the neck, the shoulders. And one more time, reaching the fingertips around. Shalabhasana arms is a great counter pose to dolphin. Interlacing the fingertips behind, drawing the knuckles down and away. So if you spend a lot of time with your arms in front, this little routine of just cat-cow, maybe add a little cat-cow, dolphin, and then locust arms, that'll change your day. That'll change your life. Great, take one more deep breath in here, and then release. Awesome work. Alrighty, my friends, if you like this video, I encourage you to go check out the Foundations of Yoga playlist. This is an ongoing library of poses where we really just take the time that you don't normally have in like a yoga flow video or a vinyasa public class, and really take the time to find what feels good in your body. That's correct action and alignment, but just also the sensation, right? Every body is different. So if you want to have a lifelong practice that feels good and that's totally safe and injury-free and just helps you move with ease in your regular life, so you can carry your groceries when you're 90 and carry your neighbor's groceries too, be a good person, then I highly recommend you dive into that playlist and see what it's all about. All right, let me know how it goes down below. Questions, comments, always welcome. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this with your friends, your enemies, your neighbors, and take good care. I'll see you next time. Namaste.